YouTube, heroes are here, and they are in the top freaking 8, mate. Cosmo Neos. You summoned this, your opponent could not respond to it, and all their cards are negated. They can't activate any cards. It's a GG, no re. In addition to that, which many say is a very nasty Floodgate, you also get to Floodgate with the Dark Law. All your cards are banished, but it's okay to have these cards because they look cool, right? And they're hero only. With that said, 60 card heroes at the bottom versus Plu at the top with Radiant Typhoon. Now, we're not the only one being toxic here. Plu in the opening hand. What the heck is this? Harpy freaking Feather Storm. Negate all monsters. Oh my cheeses. Floodgate versus Floodgate. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Watching as long as you can, even if you have us on the background, that is immense support. So thank you very much as we reinforce in the army, searching for our Stratos Plu with no hand trap whatsoever, but we do have the board break of Forbidden Droplet to help disrupt their field. The problem with Droplet is it's a cost to send cards to the graveyard to negate multiple monsters on the field. If Omni Reborn could summon a Dark Law on their own turn, or just summon the Dark Law early, Dark Law ensures that Droplet is illegal to activate. You can't even use Droplet because the cards cannot be sent to the grave. Now, with the Droplet not being usable due to the Dark Law, we also have our own Droplet, which is usable to negate the opposing cards. We also have the Favorite Contact, which is going to give us the ability to non-target pop multiple cards on the field. Or set up a negate. I mean, there's so many options we can do with this Favorite Contact. Negate, pop mate. We are going... Oh, no, it's the Cosmos Neos. That's it. Everything's negated. You can't change to this. You can't activate cards. GG, no re. And you're under Dark Law. Dark Law could trigger to banish the card added. Oh my Jesus. Well, we Cosmo Neos. Your opponent can activate in response. We don't want to chain Dark Law to our own card. Wow. I don't like to think of the players. I remove them from the equation whenever I'm discussing things, but can we really feel bad when the dude's got a Harpy Feather Storm in their hand and they're scooping to a Floodgate with their own Floodgate? Yo, it worked. Oh, wait, that's the wrong card, not the Typhoid Vision. Okay, we're good. We're still chilling. Cresea, activate, imperm, negate. I agree on this mate. Imperm on the Link 2 is not that great. You're just stopping them from adding an MST. You're not stopping them from accessing the trap. They could just play the trap during your own turn. Now, if you have a dual negate on their turn and negate on yours, that could be a good way to stop them from gaining access to the trap. We are still holding on to the Vision Draw 2. Randomly, the Harpy Feather Storm could be appearing in our hand as we chain MST to it right now. It all comes down to this. Harpy Feather Storm likely played at 3. Woo! Yeah, let's go! Now, the rest of the field does not matter because we instantly win with this one card. Let's speed on through the rest. Oh, okay, we're done. I was going to read some notifications. Oh, whoa, Plasma, what the heck? Miracle Ejector, dump a Panther. You are negated, stay in the hand. Now, we could still attack. We could still summon monsters, just no monster effects. MST onto the Mandate, negate the Fusion Destiny. Let's scoop it up. Floodgate me, Floodgate you, and now it's time to Floodgate you again. This is it. Ua. Maxi. Draw 2. And then Droll. Yes. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Add Divine to play around a Droll. Did not Droll. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Maxi and Fu is pretty good. So this is what we would be ending on against Droll, but maybe we're just ending on this because of Maxi and Fua. He did not need the droll to make us end early. Banish, grab Polly. We're probably not using it. We're further linking. Draw 2, don't mind if I do. Oh, we're going for the floodgate. You did not droll in Lockbird him early. Thus, now he's going to have the potential capability under Fua, under Maxi, to completely turn off your next turn with the Cosmos Neos. Cosmo Neos, that is. Fua. He needs the favorite contact. That's the play. And he's now searching it because you didn't droll. Draw 3. Oh my gosh. Let's freaking go. Favorite contact into the win, right? Do we have the win? Wait, we're missing a card. We don't have enough. Now he drolls. Wait, we undershot it? This requires 3 Neospacians. 1, 2. Where's the other one? Where's the Panther? We didn't get a Panther in the graveyard. We can't turn off his turn. Oh, shoot. Mass change, which will be disabling the droplet. Oh, no. Come forth. Dark Law, making sure to add before the Dark Law's out so it's not going to trigger to banish. Phonics solos Dark Law unless favorite contact is used to help counter the Phonics. Now, the Phonics is going to trigger on the resolution of the contact to spin the Dark Law back into the deck. That's why we're going to have to go into our Omni Negate. But negating him from spinning back the Dark Law does not prevent him from simply going to the battle phase to take him out by battle, and then everything will just be played in main phase 2. Cresea triggering to add from the deck will trigger Dark Law to randomly banish a card among the 8 cards he's going to have in hand. 1 of 8, mate. What are we sniping? Boom! There goes the droplet. Now we're finally in main phase 1. As we Magala get searched for with the Eldum, search for a quick play. We're now going to link 2. With the link 2, we could push the Dark Law into the back row before even having to go into the battle phase since the contrast here already activated to negate. Let's finger the Stratos to trigger the link 2 to play our mandate. Magala is here, which does not trigger on any quick play spell. It needs to be a Radiant Typhoon or a Mystical Space Typhoon. We're now going to mandate negate the Dark Law to ensure that our cards will simply be sent to the grave. Thus, we didn't even have to use the link 2 to push it back thanks to the mandate negate. Now, mandate negate is a forever negate if we were to leave up the Dark Law, which likely will not be the case here. Add back, some for the deck, monster negate, some for the hand, great fly, which is what you want to do when you're going for a 1-turn kill. Push into the back row, the Chaos and the Cresea. We're not going for that 1-turn kill. We're focusing on board advantage. MST onto the Cresea within the battle step to reborn the Cresea back at 2,700. Lethal damage. Damn. What a great turn. We actually are going for lethal. Wow. Well done, Plu. Baboose with the Great Fly. Baboose with the Mandate. Put the Cresea in the back row. MST it. Damn. Very well done. Fualos chaining to the Jokul, which now turns on the Azuna. The Ripper now gets to set a force release. Now, we have Fire, Dark, and Earth, which the Jiaolong will be searching the Earth to ensure that the Snow Devil will non-target wipe away the field. We can then non-target pop a card in the field with the release. We can then target pop a monster or rip a card out of the hand with what we summon with the release. We also have the Ash Blossom And by having the Earth, we're gonna be able to Caesar pop. We could also Raisin possibly pop a column, probably not. The Magnum Hut banishing will possibly be a disruption. There's about 6 disruption, I'd say. And Lupus into an Xyz. 7. Can we play through 7? Come to me. Ooh, MST right away onto the Force Release. Let's search our deck with the Long. Not using the Force Release because it's only during the main phase. There you go. So we lose the hand rip, we lose the pop. That's a double disruption in 1 MST. Ash negate the chance. Very well done. So it's more reason to not use Imperm onto the Ripper if we know that our deck is filled to the brim with ways to search for MST to wipe out the Force Release before it's even activatable. Double summon into the Benny. Vision draw 2. Discard away the Swen. And now we Benny it up. We have not committed to our normal summon yet. It's too slow. It's not a trigger effect. It's not a quick effect. Can't dump the Dormouse on summon before the control is stolen. Oh my Jesus. Oh my Maxi, but we do have an Ash Negates. No Fua follow-up. Malice is a pretty good deck. Damn. So we're gonna have the ability to non-target banish a card in the field, then non-target banish a card in the field again, then negate anything with the Ignister and also banish that card. We also have the Druid Storm. We can banish cards in the grave with the White Binder. Really powerful, high quality disruptions on top of some minimal disruptions. Banishing from the grave's not that great. Negate and banish. The Transcode Talker, small little nuance here, making it untargetable. Not too big of a deal. As Lantern is grabbed with the K9. K9 is targeting Azuna to Reborn. Are we going to respond? Druid Swarm banishing away the White Binder. Call by the Grave fingering the White Binder. As we chain GWC to dodge the Called by the Grave. Very well done. Insulating us from that finger. Not today. And Binder will now be triggering our 2 non-target banishes. Cryptor's gonna non-target banish. MTP is gonna be able to non-target banish. Back-to-back non-target banish is the way. Oh my Jesus. We do have the Chessy Cat ready to be returned back for that non-target banish. We're gonna MTP right away, wasting no time. Grab the March Hare. Binder will now trigger to also draw a card and come back. Damn. With this board, Umbral Horde, negate a monster, not get rid of the monster, but then discard a card from the hand. We then have the Force Release, which will pop a card and pop a card again on the field, or a card from the hand will get banished. We have Ripper, which will negate a card from the hand or engrave, which could be the Ignister that we want to summon. We then have a rank 5 Xyz play. We have Nibiru, we have Ash, we have Droll. We have what else from there if we were to add a Caesar or a Holly Sue play. Yeah, we have about 9 disruptions. Oh my Jesus. 9 means we could say yes to literally every effect they activate without thinking. 0 thought. This is another problem with an overabundance of disruptions from turn 1 fields, is that you don't really have much space to creatively express yourself in how you disrupt your opponent when you could just flip up everything in response to everything. This is the problem with Drytron back in the day. I have 5 cards, well, I have 5 fairies in hand. Negate, 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 negate. Upstart Goblin, negate. Dormouse, negate. Is Gera even thinking? Gera has said yes to every activation so far. Any play, he has said yes. So, yes, yes, yes. Good job, Gera. 2-1 victory. Chant in the draw phase. We are dealing with the Nibiru and Impermanence. What is going on here? Phonix is going to spin 2 cards back. We're going to then summon the Vortex, negate a monster. We're going to MST, negate, negate, negate. 5 Disruption, mate. Let's go. Radiant Typhoon, Vision, chain the Ascendants, chain the MST, and get ready to negate. I don't think so, mate. We're going to chain link block that negate with the Radiant, with the Chimera Fusion. We're going to chain MST again since we have more. And now, the mandate goes through, negating the better card, taking out the Chimera Fusion. Let's freaking go. Chimera Fusion negated. Reborn Crusea. What? Draw 2 if you don't have an MST or a Radiant Typhoon, and then you discard your entire hand. No. Okay. Duel over. Allure of Darkness whiffed. Okay. Finish him. Oh my Jesus. All right, we're gonna go on a very short break. You're not gonna miss anything as we hop into game number 2. BRB, I'm gonna use the restroom. Let's go. Let's go. Chant, searching for Eldum. Ua, loss it up. This is the crazy deck down here. Man, everyone's playing Radiant Typhoon in their deck. It's not that they're playing Radiant Typhoon, the deck type. It's just an engine they're using to segue into other plays. Now, Chudcho did use the Vision quite desperately in game 1, having to discard his entire hand since he did not have a quick play nor a Radiant Typhoon to discard. Ooh, Diabels is a floodgate. We love floodgates. Now, this is a creative floodgate, so maybe we get a pass for her, right? She is also a waifu. What is her floodgate-like effect? She floodgates out quick play spells. She ensures that your opponent must set spell and trap cards before activating them. And also, if a spell and trap card becomes set, you could then pop a card, but mostly you can't activate this because you got to set it and it's a quick play. Can't activate Droplet, can't activate MST. Is this a GG? Instant win or what? Can't activate 4 of these cards. We're activating all 4, setting all 4. Now, can he pot a E? No, can't. Only at the start of your main phase can you activate this. So by setting this, it's no longer a card. Oh my Jesus. Pop the MST, then MST something else. 2 for 1 special, wipe it out. End the turn. Damn, Decade, I am so sorry you're getting clapped up here. Come forth, Sword Knight activates, summon from the deck into Gazelle, as we're gonna chain the chant likely as we're getting ready for a droplet play. Drop the lits and the chant to negate simply just Gazelle from searching for a Chimera Fusion. Now, do we play Fiendsmith? Of course, we see Lurie, so we could put 2 bodies if we want. Now, do we want to get rid of Diabels, though? That's the problem. We are triggering Diabels by setting up our Gaze of Timaeus, and now we're going to go into Fiendsmith. Can Moon of the Closed Heaven equal 8,000 damage? Let's speed this up and find out. Crimson Tear, sending Graver here, Reborn. Without the Link 3, I don't think it's lethal, right? Whoa, hold up. That's not the Lacrima. What the heck? We made a hard left turn going into a Chimera Flying Mythical Beast Fusion instead, as we now make Little Knight. Now, we are able to dump from the deck a Codal. Little Knight is going to be banishing away our own Diabels. Now, with Diabels banished, we get to summon her back through this crazy play. Let's go. During the opponent's turn, you get to banish this card to then target your banished Diabels to then special summon it. Oh my Jesus. Let's freaking go. Right away in the draw phase. There are at least 2 decks I really want to play from the Meta Weekly today. This is one of them. I forgot the other. Little Knight, chain banish away the Eldum, and now spells must be set before activated. We got the Magala, but no good way to trigger it. Come to us, the chant, can't use it. Now, oh crap, Typhon. Typhon turns off Nibiru from even being activatable. Simply battle over her. We can't special summon for the rest of the turn, but now the Magala during the opponent's turn will be able to special summon. If we have an MST in the graveyard, the ability to have a monster negate. We're not going to want the Phonics here. So very simply, monster negate. But Little Knight banished before it could trigger. Got him. Little Knight countered. Engraver Reborn. Engraver could simply, with the Requiem, send the Typhon to the graveyard if it's bothering us in any way. Rip. Diabels won this whole duel. Straight up. Diabels floodgated it up. Now we go into the Fiendsmith Lacrima, Reborn back the Engraver. To battle we go, reducing the opposing field. And just like that, game 3. Very nice. Begin. Send from the deck a Vortex. We do have Ash ready to negate the search for a monster mate. Chain MST to now trigger the Vortex to Reborn from the grave, immediately giving us a monster negate. Red Reboot against Mandate, it's going to do nothing. It's already face up. Now, if we read the Red Reboot, when they activate a trap card, are we activating the card when we negate or draw a card? No, we're activating the effect of the card. Activation of a card is flipping it face up or playing it from the hand. If it's in the grave and you activate it, that's the effect. If it's already face up and you activate it, that's the effect. Thus, trash. Let's go. When negated, will it get destroyed? If we have 2 MST, that's a destroy. Yes, indeed. We're going to chain chant to the Typhoon Vision, YOLO drawing 2 as we're about to discard the Chimera Fusion, or we just negate the Vision. With Vision negated, we have no play. Brick, brick, brick. 3 completely non-activatable cards, with our Swen being our main play, getting disrupted and destroyed. Damn. All right, speed this up. Radiant Typhoon is in a pretty good spot in this meta. Of course, we're going to get untouched by the most recent ban list. We have Cool Tune coming out, which may not be receiving the Rotary. Let's go. 2-1 victory. Let's go. Parry, Reese map, grab that Cupsy Yummy, limited to 1, thus the Parry Reese map is going to make you play into a draw. Triple Tactics talent, let's rip away the Black Sheep, allowing them to keep the Lunalight Fusion. You know it's there. Now, if you have the Synchro and you chain to the Lunalight Fusion, they're not going to be able to use the deck or extra deck in response as you get your extra deck monster off the field. The problem with that is we can't have a Snatchy on the field. We have to just have the Synchros. We need to be able to chain, and it can't be plural. It's got to be 1 Synchro. So now that we have too many, this will for sure go through unless we make a Herald of Arclight to negate. And it looks like we're doing exactly that, thus we're fine. From the hand, from the deck, monsters will get banished instead of being sent to the grave. And we have our negates. Let's go. This is not even really good right now. Fusion summon using monsters from your hand or field. If your opponent controls something from the extra deck, you could use 1 from the deck or extra deck. So I was thinking, is it even a possibility to just allow it to resolve as the cards would get banished? But if they're going to summon a Liger off this, you obviously want to stop it, which they're not even in that position. Foolish Burial, dump nothing because it gets banished. Reborn nothing with Perfume because the monster's getting banished. Check freaking mate. We know their hand. They activate Foolish. We 100% know every other card. They could use it. It's just not going to do anything. When Elf Notes? I don't know. I did not expect Cool Tunes in this next pack. But that's only not expected because of how new Rotary and all the other synchros they have. Oh boy. Spell and Trap card negate, banish, Droll, Nibiru, double Raigeki. What? He likes to watch. He's a watcher. Okay, very nice. Who doesn't like watching Luna Light Liger's furry thighs? Great. 1 and 1. What the heck? Thrust, slump, evenly, field spell, completely unusable hand. What are the chances? Well, now Heavy Poly's dead. That maybe was the goal here, right? Chick, normal, Gold Leo, and Wolf, and now we hit him with the Droll. Okay. Chick, send Leo Dancer, Wolf, fuse into our Perfume Dancer. Can't search for a Perfume, but already have it in hand. Return back the Chick, summon the Chick, send a Martin. Martin cannot trigger the effect. Not that it was sent by card effect anyway, but it still is not able to. Reborn the Chick again. Dump the Gold Leo. Make our little knight. With our Wolf being replayable, we're now going to go into the Liger Dancer for game. Just like that. Kaleido Chick ensuring that the opponent's cards and effects cannot be activated during the battle phase. No tricks, no traps, no surprises. Finish him. All right. Swen, grab Vision. Activate the Vision. Ash, negate, mate. Got him. We're going to trigger the Cresea still, which, maybe you'd have to think, should we have negated the Swen instead? But they could have likely already had any other quick play, which would be able to trigger the Cresea, ensuring that we make them use up the hard once per turn effect of Champ, because otherwise you negate Swen, they have another Champ, and you feel bad off of that. And if that's not the case, then they could just use another quick play to then trigger the Cresea. Let's pop it, trigger Magala. Magala summon from the deck. Oh my triggers. Summon from the hand, play from the grave, summon from the deck, special summon the Eldum, search for the Cresea. Totem Bird is here, ready to negate. Lupus! Let's push the Lupus into the back row. No, I don't think you will. Yes, I will. This is not a negate and destroy, which would banish the Lupus. Into the back row you go. Pushing our Phonics. Now, we can pop our Phonics to put it in the graveyard, then reborn it. Totem Bird is going to be a spell and trap card. Activation negate. With the Stake Your Soul limited to 1, you could safely negate this. They're not going to have another copy to play right through that activation negate. Then we have a monster negate. Then we have return 2 cards to the field back of the deck. MST negate, 5 disruptions. It's a well-rounded deck that's not very powerful. It's just very well-rounded. That is its strength. Joke will reveal Jia Long, come forth and summon. Nope. Vortex, negate. Now, if you really want to negate and destroy, you could chain MST onto your MST, which is quite crazy, just to get the MST and graveyard on the resolution to negate and destroy. Now, there is another thing of importance here, and that's the fact that Plu, whether on purpose or by mistake, has only 1 card in the hand. 1 card in the hand means you are not normal summoning the Noroi. I can't normal summon Noroi. Let's cope on Stake Your Soul. Negate the activation and destroy. And now we're screwed. Can't normal Jokel. Can't normal Naroi. Can't trigger Jiaolong special summon. Damn. I feel like a hand like that, you know, if they're going first, is actually a really good hand. But otherwise, going second is the common experience many people have with Vanquish Volcano, and then overall feel like the deck is a brick fest. Make it a challenge. I want all of you to play Cool Tune this Thursday. Win it. Oh my gosh. The blowout is here. Gara is gonna delete his entire hand. Yup. Clue, you better not surrender, I swear. You can surrender after it resolves. Wipe the hand, draw nothing. Let's freaking go. Yes. Xbox Tier 1. Suck up that Maxi. Damn. Love it. Good job. Now, I think many people go and say, why can't I do that play myself? It's because you can't do it with Lantern, you can't do it with Jokel. Jokel and Lantern specifically say a non-light exceeds. So you're gonna have to pretty much be required with Azuna and Lupus to mostly be the main way to go into Durendal under a Full Loss or Maxi. Chant, grab the Eldum, trigger Crusea on the draw phase to play around the Droll where you cannot activate it. Now making our way to main phase 1. Eldum searching for the Vortex, hit him with the Droll. Is this the end for Radiant Typhoon? Totem Bird, Special Swan Magala, further link this up into the Doom Eagle. Doom Eagle, Totem Bird, and MST. What does this entail? Activation, spell, and trap card negate. Return a card from the opposing graveyard back in the deck. MST itself, I wouldn't say is a disruption unless against the field spell. Now, let's just say that in case they do. Some have a play. Now, we do have the Vortex also being a monster negate, which will be triggerable after the MST resolves. Quadra Disrupt. 3 to 4 Disrupt. Naroi into Jokel. We can't do anything about this. So they're going to be able to make a Ripper with 0 friction, nothing stopping it, and the Ripper will then negate the Vortex from even coming out. Going for Jax. Jax is going to pop the Doom Eagle because the Doom Eagle stops the Lantern and the Lantern enables a 1-turn kill play. The Totem Bird does also. Totem Bird will negate the card that I know he's trying to go for here. Doom Eagle, get rid of the Jokel. We already committed to our normal summon. It's about to go. Now with the Totem Bird wiped away, cleans them up. Let Zeus wipe out the MST before it can even activate to trigger the Vortex. Now, let's build our field in main phase 2 after beautifully dismantling that field. Look at the hand. All right, we know he has the Shield Bearer. Wait, does Shield Bearer banish or go to the grave? Banish from the hand, plays around the Called By. Returning Called By the Grave back in the deck after viewing the opposing hand. He knows exactly what's there. He now has to account for any other card that he could possibly draw into. This is the card that would have been MST'd. Let's rock the Vanquisher, add back the Jiaolong. Holly Sue, reveal, come to me. Reveal, Fire and Dark, Raisin. Blue, I don't know what you could draw into. Please, pick up your deck, add anything. I would love to see it. Force Release, Little Knight, just scoop, you think? No MST in the grave is relevant. That messes things up. You do want to consider making that play. Now, Gara knows that's the only hidden card. Chrysaea is going to get banished away with the Little Knights. Vortex going to special summon. Ripper is going to negate. Does not destroy, keeps it in hand. Now, this is only the effect, which is separate from Reborning from the graveyard, so if we do have a way to get the Vortex engraved, it could still make its way onto the field. The Vision will be the way to get the Vortex engrave. Draw 2, discard you, and then MST Reborn. First going to summon Chrysaea, which already triggered to search. All within the draw phase. This is crazy. That was a main phase only card that could be activatable. This truly is main phase 0. Shield Bearer, which would dodge the Called By, thus that's why we return Called By back in the deck. Droll and Lockbird. It's going to get negated by the Vortex. Negate. Rocket Vanquisher, add back the Holly Sue. Holly Sue is ready to pop off. She can make plays. She will be able to reveal whenever we want, but we're going to Nibiru instead. Why even bother with the Holly Sue? What do y'all think? Are Nibiru stocks up or what? On the latest official in-game analytics, Nibiru's usage rate went from 30% down to 20%. That was before the Draco Tail hits, before the Yummy hit, before Vanquish Soul got hit. All pre-hit 20% usage among the highest rank in Master Duel. Holly Sue after Nibiru cleaning up the field. Raise it in the same column as Swen. Caesar is also summonable to non-target pop a card in the fields. Just an absolute obliteration of this duel. Insane. Are these the two best decks, though? Really? I mean, Yummy's got to be accounted for. Cupsy to 1 can't be enough to have completely taken it out. I do have to say I'm quite shocked on the severe lack of Draco Tail, though. It really must be wait for Branded for Draco Tail. Finish him. Let's go. In our main phase 0, Ledge draw 2. Come to me. Ash negate. Nate. This could be quite interesting. The Doom Eagle ability to return cards to the opposing graveyard back in the deck. They love to get the chick engraved to then continually recycle it. So that may be a good option to bounce it back. The Martin trying to reborn from the graveyard. So this is a very good disruption. And then we have the Vortex monster negate. We have MST negates. We have Droplet negates. And do we have a way to get into a Phonix? How do we get the Phonix out? We don't have a Reborn. I guess that's not going to be a play. Okay. Or Disrupt. Even if they activate the Fuse, you could Doom Eagle, get rid of the Leo Dancer. That could be a play. We're just going to do it right here, right now. We may draw into a random hand trap. Is it a good idea to Doom Eagle this early, though? Ended his turn. I like Turtle had no play anyway. Let's do it. The Nibiru is going to get negated. Didn't even bother setting Droplet because MST in the end phase would just negate it. Now, Maxie's putting in work, obviously, so we have the pressure on DK on whether we're going to go for lethal damage here. Using the Droplet to reduce, trigger the Phonix. Now this is enough for game. Finish him. Well done. To game 2 we go. Very weak hand. We needed that heavy polymerization the turn prior. Not drawn to it, of course. Masquerade, dump the Silverhound. Some for the deck are Gold Leo. Now, there's too much back row to rely on Crusea because the first line is cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect while your opponent controls no spell and traps. Ideally, we could just MST it all away. Obviously, there's way too much cards to even do that, but then that would be another option to just chill. Pada E could randomly banish the Fortune Tune. What are you doing? Okay, we're good. The Great Fly being gone removes the option of summoning Phonics. Phonics now can't go even with the Liger Dancer. So our only out is now to sit on Crusea and Fortune Tune. We have no other win condition. Stall is the play. Survive for 25 turns. Little Knight Chain. Ooh, Sheena is gonna be bouncing the Little Knight. This does nothing to the Ligers, of course. This is protected from battle destruction once per turn, but not from card destruction. See, we are whittling away that back row. We gotta keep doing it. Keep taking it out. And then this is a resource we want to pay attention to. He can only wipe away the field 3 more times. We have to survive 3 more wipes. Now, generally when a card's unaffected by card effects, it's usually is just the opponent's card effects. He can Nibiru his own Ligers and they'll stay on the field. Wipe it out, wipe it out. Now we are in the position. DK's in a really good spot. Double MST with Crusea and there's only 1 back row card. That's great. We are well positioned to summon this and can't be destroyed by battle or card effect. The problem is we see 2 spells in hand plus the wolf. 3 for 2, now there's 4 for 2. As soon as he sets them, he knows it's no longer a play. It was a valiant effort, and it's something you all should take note of, that is a win condition with the deck. And in another circumstance, it very likely would have actually been the winning play. 1 and 1. And the draw phase to play around Droll. Ash negates. Now we're not negating the activation, thus Crusea is going to trigger. And Crusea will not be triggering the Droll. So this is where I Like Turtle is not having a good time. Our very first play must be the Pada E if we're willing to play into a Droll. Let's Fool Loss to ensure that they don't draw into a card that could stop the Fool Loss. Hit him with the Droll. Now, Crusea already used its effect, but the Link 2 and many of the effects can very simply play off the graveyard. If we have enough resources in the grave, we don't really care under Droll. Just add it back. Totem Bird, activation negate, double MST. Now, MSTs without the Link 2, without the mandate, are great against Lunalight. They have the Tiger Pendulum Scale that gets wiped out, the Wolf Pendulum Scale that Fusion summons, the Masquerade, the Tenki. MST on its own is definitely a big negate. So, negate MST, and then we have the ability to Crusea grab a Monster Negate or a Phonics. We do have the Totem Bird, Quadra Disrupt into a Fua. What the heck is that? We're wasting no time to set up our disruption. Grab an MST plus the Vortex is now ready. Foolish into nothing. Nada. Chain MST to trigger the Vortex to summon to be ready to negate any follow-up monster effect while still having the other MST. And it's not going to be a destroy negate, just a regular negate. There's the Wolf Mate. Normal the Fool Loss. Just like that, a valiant effort from I Like Turtle. Well done. Conclude it. Finish it. MST. Damn. Radiant Typhoon stocks are up. Radiant Typhoon is still brand spanking new, right? It's still going to be in the shop on the new pack release. Radiant Typhoon versus Vanquish Soul Canine. We have top tier Xbox versus DK at the bottom. There can only be one winner, and you're looking at him, Hajime. Going first, we're gonna be special summoning a Swen, searching for our vision, and he drops the dreaded Dimension Shifter. Holy crap, Gara baited you to play, baited me to play into a Duel. That's not a good look. Damn, that was smart. In the Duel window, activate Shifter, and then we want to be able to discard a card to ensure it goes to the graveyard instead of getting banished. Wow, 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 wow. And I'm not allowed to surrender in the finale, I guess. Holy crap. Draw nothing now. Totem Bird pass. Now, Totem Bird is doing two things. It's gonna be a spell and trap card, activation negate, and the Sheena is going to be able to be turned on by the Totem Bird, being able to bounce back the entire field back to the hand, monsters or back row, depending on what we respond with. Respond to, that is. Jokel, normal summon. Now, could I have prevented this by setting the mandate? No, the Foolos would still be stuck in the hand. Oh my Jesus, this is looking really bad. No play. Please, Gara, activate something. Don't go to the battle phase. He activated. We're going to droplet. We're not going to even have the Sheena make a play here. I'm going to hold on to Sheena. I'm going to wait for her to be more impactful here, even though I am pretty much super screwed. Let's be honest here. I lost a Shifter, right? Shifter clapped my cheeks into oblivion. We're gonna use the Ascendance to, I'm just trying to add an MS. Can you chill, man? Can you get your fingers off the grimy little Xbox controller for 1 second and let me try to make a single play? Okay, finish me. Link this off, Little Knight, sure. Reborn. Damn, Shifter's not cool. That really cut deep. That Shifter into vision playing into a Duel was really dirty. Okay, game 2. You have no chill. Shifter, Max C. If I just let you go first, will you promise to side these cards out or something? What the heck is this? Because that's essentially what these cards are. It's, no, I get to go first. Okay. Yeah, just ruin my turn. Normal Magala. We're going to use the manifestation to dump a Vortex in the deck. Special summon Chrysaea from the deck. Let's add an MST, which will trigger the Vortex Engraved to Reborn once we activate the MST. Let's further commit to a Link 2. We have no choice under the Max C. Give them draw 2. Grab our second copy of MST. As the Vision now draws 2. Discard the Mandate to trigger the Link 2 to play it back onto the field. And you know what? We still have a decent turn 1 despite the Max C. Chant, grab Eldum. We already used up our normal summon, thus this would have to be a special under Max C if we want to whip it out. Mandate, draw another card. We have triple MST negate, Pot of E, no good. So much back row, I don't have room to set the MST. With double MST negate, droplet negate, Ascendance, Reborn out the Chrysaea, which will give us access to a Phonix, return 2 cards on the field back in the deck. We can trigger Reborn, the Vortex, negate a monster effect. 5 solid disruptions versus a 7-card hand. Foolos right away, sure. Raising in the calm of my Link 2, let's Ascendant in response, Reborn, as we now MST onto the Ascendance to use Mandate to negate the Raisin. This is a 2-for-1 special. If this negate goes through, if they don't have a random 1 of Caesar or maybe a 1 of Borger, they would not only be negated on the search, but also the column destruction would also be negated. 2-for-1. But he is going to dodge the negate with the Caesar. Mate, we're still going to use Droplet to ensure that the Raisin gets negated. We do not want him to add a card from the deck to the hand. So this goes through, even though it's no longer in the field. If it was not flipped face down, then the negate does not get wiped away. As long as a negate is applied onto the card before it leaves the field, it is negated from its activation on field of whatever its effect is. Persea trigger to grab a Phoenix. We are going to be using the Vortex to reborn. Caesar's got a non-target pop. So we're in a situation where, because we already had to use up so much of our back row, the Phoenix is not going to possibly be a good play because we need a way to trigger to summon the Phoenix out and then a way to trigger the Phoenix on field. That requires 2 quick play spells. We only have the Mystical Space Typhoon. Randomly drawing into a non-hand trap because we're apparently not that great. Persea, come to me, Phoenix mate. As the Jiaolong will be triggering to summon in response to the Caesar popping a card, we're going to negate. Not destroy, unfortunately. We do have MST still. We're waiting. Not MSTing onto the Vanquish Soul start, searching for a second copy of the Jiaolong. Instead, saving the MST to be used with the Mandate. With our Mandate, negate the Rock of the Vanquisher. So we identified that Gera is desperately trying to get a level 5 on the field. So if we were to use an MST onto the field spell, is the field spell getting a level 5 in the field? Not at that moment. So instead, by saving the MST with the Mandate to negate the Rock of the Vanquisher, that was our play to ensure he cannot rank 5 exceeds. Now we're gonna come forth and Phoenix. Wanted to special summon from the hand. Well done. Fire, fire, fire. All 3 fires with a Snow Devil that's only going to apply the first effect. Now, you may be thinking Rock of the Vanquisher. Nope, it is permanently negated for both turns, all turns. As long as it's on the field, you are negated. Now, the first effect is simply deal 400 and special summon a Vanquish Soul. No destruction protection, no wipe away the fields. Let's go. MST onto the snow. Let's reveal simply a Jiaolong to special summon the Raisin or the Jiaolong. Jiaolong can search by revealing 2 fires. Phoenix will trigger. Let's return it back. Now, the Lupus is something that we're going to want to be using with the 5. That's why we summoned the 5 over the Raisin here. But we're going to negate. Now, if we have 2 MSTs, it's a negate and destroy. We got 3. Now, you're not going to go to the graveyard. You're getting banished. Get the heck out of here. Not today. Holly Sue is the way, revealed and summoned herself onto the field. But then what? She needs a dark for both of her effects. She needs to reveal a dark and an earth or a dark and a fire. With no dark, she's got no play besides summoning herself onto the field. So with that said, let's have our way with building up our fields. Great Fly to boost up that great field. 10,000 damage we have here. Holly Sue at the end of main phase 1, further triggering the Jiaolong. Let's set Pada E, MST it to then trigger our Engrave Vortex to reborn back. As we further exceeds into the Phantom Fortress, non-target, banish away that Jiaolong. Mandate on the attack. Let's draw a card to further boost up the field to over 11,000 damage. And just like that, to game 3. Pretty cool duel. Being able to win against a Max C, that was good. Couldn't beat the Shifter, but we beat the Max C. Let's see what happens. Gera, try your best. Begin. Reinforcing the army, reinforcing our hand with a Raisin here. Bro can't handle not opening up Max C. Draw 1 wasn't good enough. He needs to draw 5 total, draw 4 more cards. He has to draw into a Max C, a droll. Woo, we're good. We're in the clear. Holy crap. Stake your soul. Reveal. It wasn't enough that the dude turns off crossplay before our duel. And now this. Force release. Nash Knight. Get sucking. Umbral Horror. Oh boy. Dude saw our hand. So to play around him seeing our hand, we have the unknown of what we're going to draw into, and then 2 more unknowns from the vision draw 2. Holy moly. Insane. Gosh. Third Cresseia against... This literally negates Cresseia. Anything from the hand or grave, negate. Negate a monster effect in the field, then discard a card from the hand, hopefully just discarding a Cresseia. We have non-target pop a card on the field, and then banish a card from our hand or pop another monster on the field. We have non-target wipe away the entire field of monsters with a Snow Devil. He's going to be able to potentially rank 5 Exceeds with the Lupus and Azuna play. And he's also going to be able to Caesar pop a card on the field. Potential Holly Sue take control. I mean, does the dude need 10 more monster zones to make all his plays? Yes. So about 8 forms of disruption that we have to play through with this crappy freaking hand. Let's wipe away their board wipe with precision. We know where it is. He's got destruction protection. We have to draw into a Sheena, and then the Ripper can negate Sheena. No Sheena. No Sheena. All right. Chant. Keeping this in the draw phase. Main phase 0, that is. Didn't negate Cresseia. Gara is saving his negate for Sheena, or maybe a Phonix or a Vortex instead. He cannot be concerned with the Cresseia. MST onto the Ascendants. I think it's probably because he wanted to Umbral Horror my Cresseia, so I made the perfect play of Chain Link blocking Cresseia. This is where Gara's like, oh crap, I got outplayed. Yup, you were caught with your pants down, and now the Umbral Horror will not negate Cresseia. If I'm going to potentially lose to your disgusting turn 1, I'm going to at least outplay you in the process. Activate, he tries to negate, we call a judge, I chain link block him. I don't think so. Set, unfortunately, Cresseia search. I mean, what am I going to really do with this? Add an Eldum? Sure. Let's further MST onto the Force Release. All of that in the draw phase, that was a lot. Does Branded do that much in the end phase? Come forth, Swen. Finally, you get your negate, randomly discarding my Cresseia if you want to keep this fair and square duel, right? Thank you. Honest player. Eldum. Into Magala. Magala could summon Phonix from the deck. You got Gossip Shadow. This is going to pin down any nasty monster effect. That's it. Holly Sue, activate. Trying to take control of the Gossip Shadow. I'm going to change her effect into, instead we both draw 1. Which means I could still draw into Sheena. Sheena. Now Ripper can negate Sheena. He's still holding on to that Ripper negate. Huh? Ascendance? I already have an Ascendance. Reborn Swen. Let's make the Link 2. Link 2. Try to grab an MST. It is a good play from Gara. I'll give it to him to try to destroy and get rid of the Link 2 on its activation and search for MST to definitively deny it from grabbing access to the mandate to then negate. Not only negate, but another opportunity to draw into a Sheena, which would then still be negated by Ripper. Now maybe draw into a Droplet, 2, maybe draw into a Super Poly. MST away the Vanquish Soul start, trigger the Magala, and of course, he needs non-engine to help his full turn 1 power, highest ceiling play of Vanquish Soul Canine, because that obviously was not enough. He needed additional help. Holly Sue, before the main phase ends, get that Umbral Horror out of here. Gossip does nothing. Magala could summon from the deck a form of disruption. Cresseia, you know, we could have access to the Vortex also. Monster Negate. Goodbye to Magala mate, so no trigger there. Add back MST, and we're gonna need Vortex off of this MST. But what if I can't MST anything? Well, then I can't summon Vortex. And Gera apparently knows that situation. Now, Cresseia cannot be destroyed because you control no back row. Well, I control no back row because you're going to MST it. Well, he's now going to use the effect of Mad Love. You don't choose what to return back with Mad Love. It's very simply the lowest defense. And what are the chances that my Cresseia that cannot be destroyed by anything happens to also be the lowest defense on the field? She is. And I can't even re-trigger summon her back because there's nothing to MST. I tried. Maxied me, shiftered me. He had everything. Well, let's look at this chart real quick. You know? It's, you know, I don't believe in heroes here. I think this is kind of a fluke, a good fluke, a welcome fluke. I'm happy to see this. Malice does seem real, though. I'm seeing many other things about Malice that believes that this ain't no fluke. Vanquish Soul and Radiant Typhoon also seems real. This does seem real. I think Crystron Canine is real. I think Lunalight is real. Ryzeal Mitsurugi does seem pretty real also. Everything else is the players doing well with their decks. You know, rogue decks are always going to squeak in, of course, and YCS is also, it happens all the time. But for truly talking about the merit of the deck itself, those seem like the best decks here. Yummy also, just Yummy itself, the Yummy engine, very real. But we're going to need to see more. Ryzeal Mitsurugi. Ryzeal Mitsurugi is clapping up the OCG still, even with prayers at 1. Now, you could say they have the End of Ruler in addition to that, and you'd be right, but they also have the Preparation of Rites limited to 1. So, you know, things kind of even out in terms of consistency when you compare the hits and non-hits and also the unreleased cards. They do, of course, also have Phadralis, but we have Ice Rezeal Unlimited. They do have that limited to 1. That's also an additional benefit. So, definitely still a deck, I'd say. For pure Mitsurugi, I think we probably just have to wait for the newer Mitsurugi support cards for that to be in a better spot. Crystron Canine. I mean, Crystron Yummy Canine. Do I have to make a whole separate deck type for you or what? What the heck is this, Abdullah? I think so. This is definitely enough. This is not teching in Radiant Typhoon in your Malice deck. This is much more than that, right? I think you could all agree with that. We have Snatchy, we have all the Synchros, we have Yummy Surprise, we got the Minion, we have all the Yummy monsters. It's a Yummy deck and a Crystron deck. It's 0 Canine though. Yeah, I'll change the deck after the event ends and I will call it Crystron Yummy. Yummy Crystron, okay? What do I call it? Is it Crystron Yummy or Yummy Crystron? You decide in chat. Good job, Abdullah. Now we have Makanko. Crummy. Okay. Karma with Makanko. We got the Metal Silver Armor, Floodgate. We got the Floodgate. We floodgated. Good job, Karma. Happy to see it. If it works, then use it. I will never be against floodgates or toxic strategies. If they work, we want to highlight it. We want Konami to deal with them. We don't want these fake player agreements to play fair. That doesn't exist. Good job, Karma. Chimera. Honcho. So I want to play Abdullah's deck, and I want to play this deck. I didn't know you were 60 cards. I didn't pay attention to that. What the heck? You got a lot of juice in here. This is nice. Gas on Gas, Radiant Typhoon, Chimera, Diablo Star, Fiendsmith. Oh my Jesus. Good job, Honcho. And this is a good response to Radiant Typhoon becoming more prevalent with all the other top decks being hit. because we hard counter the Radiant Typhoon with the Diabels. Very smart on this, and it worked out well. Yummy Mimigol, Slayton with the coolest card of the day. The highlight goes to you with the Bot Herder. Bot Herder, yoink the entire opposing field permanently. Loved it. And what else we got? Lunalight, I like Turtle. Good job. Triple Heavy Poly. You are indeed a mad lad. Triple Pirellia. Pirellia is going to be really good. Pirellia is just very good. If you look at this, Pirellia. And if Yummy's also going to be good, Super Pirellia. If they're going to rise ELB summon a monster from the hand, we're, I think, heading into a Pirellia meta. Pirellia is the way. Just max out Fua, max out Pirellia. Both is the play. Heroes. Tabris, 45 cards. Good job to Tabris. Well done. We're not playing the super crazy Cosmoneos because Omni Reborn is playing it instead. 57 cards. We are on the Cosmoneos to just instantly win the duel. And you have to think of this card in a different way to perceive this. Think of, I play this because you're maxing me, you're Fua-lossing me. If you're gonna do that, I'm gonna play a card that ends your turn when you have 20 cards in hand. It's only fair. So there you go. Good job, Omni Reborn. Malice. Malice Radiant Typhoon for both? No. Animan with no Radiant Typhoon. People are so sick of Malice and the fact that you are still viable. What the hell? And then Cast. Cast with so much Radiant Typhoon in this deck. Oh my Jesus. Good work. And then the Radiant Typhoon Mad Lads. Yusuf on Super Poly. No Harpy Featherstorm. Triple Sheena, triple Super Poly. Plu with the double Sheena, triple Harpy Featherstorm. With the Harpy Conductor to make it usable going second. And then P-Jim, triple Sheena. No Harpy Featherstorm. No Super Poly. Instead, we're on Manifestation, which I don't think anyone else is on. Nope. More Engine instead. You get to send a Radiant Typhoon monster from the deck to the grave. Okay. Interesting. Double Magala. 1/1. Yeah. So I guess, do you play Super Poly or Harpy Feather? No, I play double Manifestation and a second copy of Magala. That is the choice between Super Poly, Harpy Feather Storm, or more Engine. And then we have Vanquish Soul K9. Gera, #1. Anything crazy out of the ordinary with the main deck? I don't see it. We're on double Naroi. Okay. I'm guessing that may be different with another deck. 2 Mad Love, 2 Naroi. And then triple Mad Love. We're on Red Layer. Release the Kraken. How much Naroi? 1 Naroi. 2 case for K9. What was Gera on? 1 case for K9. We're on Snow Devil. Most are on Snow Devil. And then Deus. Deus on double Red Layer, double Naroi. 1 Chaotic Elements. 1 case for K9. What is this? Kaiser Vorse Raider was played in 2022 by someone called Foom Sack Foom in a Limit 1 festival 4 years ago. And now the card's re-emerging if this is not a mistake on his deck list. 2026. It is a level 5. If you control no monster special summon this card, it's a dark and Dark is an important attribute in Vanquish Soul Canine. If this destroys a monster, if this is, we don't care. It's just level 5 Dark. Doesn't this conflict with the red layer if you have both? Control no monster, special summon. And red layer, if you control no monster, special summon. All right. A dark red layer is what this card is. Interesting. There you go. That is the event. Thank you very much. We're going to be streaming on this Thursday with the new pack release of Killer Toon. I also should be streaming on Wednesday, the new Pokemon Champions release for anyone that cares about that. Let's get to it. Let's do it. Let's go.